Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Moien Butt. I used to be a pathologist, but I retired in 91 and then moved to Houston to spend my last days here. When I came to Houston, I knew not a single person, but I liked the city because it reminded me of Karachi, where I had grown up, weather-wise, landscape-wise, and everything. I soon found out that there is a Masjid in on Richmond Road, Richmond Avenue, and that used to be ISGH main center. In about 5 or 6 years, I came to know almost all of the Muslims that were living in greater Houston area at that time, because the community was small. We used to go to the Eid prayer on Reliant. Now it's called Energy Stadium, but in the old times it was Astrodome or Reliant Park. We used to go there and almost knew everybody. Rarely there was one face or two that I have never seen before. And during the last Eid, when I went there, I could barely recognize a few faces, and everybody else was a new face. So our community, alhamdulillah, has grown tremendously. With the growth of the community, Islamic Society Greater Houston has grown. It used to be very simple. I remember talking to Brother Tahir Asafi, how he and his wife used to make lunch for Jummah prayers, and they will come here and all the Musallis would share that, and they will have a camaraderie and a good time. And they did it for years and years and years. But now you can't afford it. It has to be done on a much bigger scale and everything. Anyway, our community has grown. People now have diverse opinions. They have diverse backgrounds, and they have diverse ways of addressing the issues that they consider are important or need to be addressed. This brings a lot of strength to our community, because instead of everybody working only on one issue in one way, now there are a number of people working on different issues, different projects in different ways. And this diversity brings a lot of strength to us, alhamdulillah. I served as president of Islamic Society for 2 terms about 11 years ago. As I said, at that time I knew almost everybody in the community. We had our ups and downs, but we also at that time started a movement of trying to get involved in the community at large. And this started with, at that time, Mayor Lee Brown. Our community got involved in the election of Lee Brown, and as a result of that, when Lee Brown was elected, all of a sudden we had 5 Muslim people who chaired 5 different Houston city committees. The year before that, nobody knew that the Muslim existed in this community. This process went on, and then it evolved where MJ Khan was elected as city councilor, which brought a lot of recognition for our community as Muslim community, as a political power, and as a component of the greater Houston community. And I am happy to see that all of these efforts have brought a lot of dividends for us. Again, when I was president way back in this thing, we approached the federal government and state government, and we started to interact with FBI at that time, and the police department. As a result of that, now ISGH is recognized as a voice of Muslim community, not only at the city of Houston, but also at the state and federal level, which is a very positive approach. We need to have a organized voice, a voice which carries the weight of the remaining community behind it. In the meanwhile, ISG, as I said, ISGH has evolved. There is a funeral service, there is endowment fund, there is social services, healthcare services, family services, education, beautiful school system. I know that most of the people who looked at our school system, ISG's Darul Arqam school system, look at it as deficient in certain parts, but you have to look at from the outside community's vision. If you look at from the as an outsider and look back, you will be amazed how powerful and how effective this system is and how productive this system is. Obviously, there are room to improve, but that's fine. It's a progress. Nothing stops. It's an evolving process, and you have to continue to make efforts to change with the changing time. So, the last part I wanted to mention is the people. We have so many volunteers who are doing the work very quietly, or even when they are in public eyes, but they are working in an amazing manner. I can give you quite a few examples which they have a stellar stature. There are volunteers who have been working not for 1 week or 2 weeks, but years, spending thousands of hours, spending all of their resources from their own pocket, and helping the community to outshine any other community in Houston. The latest example is one of the sisters who is helping Shifa to create a shelter for abused women. This lady came to know that she has terminal cancer, and this happened about 1.5 years ago. Ordinarily, a person who is undergoing treatment for cancer, they are incapacitated and they want to spend their time on their own affairs. This lady, despite all the treatment and associated troubles, puts in hours and hours and hours to help the other unfortunate women who are victims of family abuse. And I hope Allah accept her efforts on it. There is another person. This person underwent a liver transplant. 1 week After the liver transplant, while still in the hospital, this person was working on a community project to help the other Muslims. I know another person who has been diagnosed with cancer and again going through terrible time, but that doesn't stop him from putting in at least 6 to 7 hours a day on helping the community and helping the less fortunate or needy people in our community. These are the type of people. Think about another example. Brother Farooq Malik. This man has dedicated all of his life to helping the Houston Muslim community. Obviously, if you work for 30, 40 years with the community, there will be some people who like your ideas, the others will not. But that's immaterial. What is material is how much time, effort, and talent he is giving to the community. Think about Dr. Mazhar Qazi. For years, he has been spending money from his own pocket to propagate Islam and teach Islam to the newly, reverted Muslims. And he doesn't ask anybody to either recognize him or repay him or even help him. He just continues to do it by himself. So there are shining examples. We have our youth, and I can give you example of the youth, how they have adapted to the American way of culture, and with those skills, they have built networks and they have built the youth in a way which is amazing. Okay. So I leave you on a positive note. Our future is bright. Trials and tribulations are there, and I can guarantee you this will always be there, because the day all the trials end, that will be the last day of this universe. So enjoy the trials and face them, and then enjoy the success that you have on overcoming all of these trials and difficulties. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.